Hey everybody, this is Doug Garzman. We're back with another video. So I haven't shown off or even talked about the tank game in a while. We've mostly been working on the Minecraft mods, mod packs, and just doing general gameplay and stuff and whatever. So we've got a new map. This is another version of map 3. I don't know if I remember actually showing off one of the attempts at map 3. We've made a few attempts at it. This is the most recent attempt that Grogger has been toying around with. He's got something that he likes-ish, kind of what is going on. This is definitely not a finished map. There's a lot of detail left to work on it. One of the things he needs to work on is the cliff tiles, and then of course there's probably some smoothing he needs to work on, and definitely textures. Right now we are definitely working with a lot of placeholder textures. So we've got this orange tile, which I was originally using as a cliff tile, but he decided he's going to use as the ground tile for the moment. We do actually have ground tiles to be using, but he decided to use that. We've got our crystals here. These are going to definitely be replaced. The plan is to randomize the sizes of these, randomize the rotation, and use shaders to kind of give them their own uniqueness to them, and plus some glow effects and whatever. We'll get to that eventually as we go. Definitely got to learn a bit for that. But for the most part, we have a level here. We have some kind of area. I don't know what he plans to use with each area here. So we've got the part you got to move through here. I'm assuming you're going to fight enemies all the way up here. Probably won't fight any enemies here just because it's too much of a choke point. Then we'll probably have some fighting going on here and so on and so on. I'll definitely talk to him about what he's going to do with that, because I'll be the one doing a bit of the programming for the fighting part. He's going to mainly just focus on doing the maps at the moment. Although I don't know how many of these we're actually going to get done, considering we've only got 2 months to get something where I believe that this is going to be a good game to play and actually sell up on Steam. If we can't do it in that one, we'll probably have to cut a few levels and figure out where we're going to go with this. So at the moment, we can go ahead and drive through at least a bit of this to kind of get a much better zoomed in view of this. So he's at least listening to my advice when I say I want the areas to be kind of screen width. This isn't going to be, of course, the final screen. So you got to remember, we can maximize this. We can do whatever. So there will be some scaling differences with the screens. Luckily, most of the screen should adapt to it. But when we do our testing, we want to make sure that most of the gameplay aspects are happening on your screen, and that areas are being developed for the screen size and not being made too big or too small. And we definitely want to make sure that when you're driving around here that you don't accidentally hit stuff often, you have room to dodge, you have maneuverability, and everything else. So these are going to probably be cliff drop-offs. This is what he's been telling me about. We're probably going to program those in a second, so we won't just make this an update video. I'll show off how I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's going to be remarkably simple. What we're going to do is we're just going to use these as wall tiles, and we're just going to put them on a different layer and simply say, okay, this is a tile that you can collide with, but your bullets won't collide with. So the AIs won't hit it and everything else. So let's go ahead and do that. Looks like he's not actually grouping the tiles. So these should... What if we could sort these? He did figure out some cool tricks, by the way, so there is actually ways to copy and paste stuff on the map. I'm not sure exactly how he pulled it off, but it has to do with the tile palette. Let's see if we can figure out what he did. So he did some kind of selection thing. So it's ground tiles and floor. And let's see if we can select stuff. Select an area. Oh, would it help if we were in scene view? So I think, okay, that does that. So I think what we can do here is do this. Flip over to palette mode. No. Do that maybe. Control C. I'm gonna have to definitely ask him how he pulled this off. Oh! Well, that's cool. I wonder if we can then like paste this. Nope, okay. Definitely we'll have to ask him about that, but let's go ahead and get this area made so that way we can have a collision system going. So how to do this, let's clean up all these real quick. So I'm going to make another object in here. I'm going to call it like crystals or something. And then we'll just select all the crystals. Let's just select everything, and then we'll scroll back down through and deselect anything that we don't want in here. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I just about parented like all the crystals to the tank. So let's move the tank up the list. This will be easier this way. Wow, there's a lot of crystals. This makes me wonder if there's a better way to go about this. Just move this down to the bottom. So team manager, camera. I don't think there's anything else in here. Because we have a data object, which I probably should just drag some of the other stuff on. That looks good enough. So get those on there. Looks good. Okay, so how we're going to do this is we're going to duplicate this layer. We still want to make sure it's on the map layer, but then we want to change... There's an aspect we're going to need to change about it. We're going to say this is... We'll just call it impasse. So impassible, and we want to make sure it's down here because it's gonna... We're gonna want it to render... It's gonna need to render on a certain layer. We don't want it rendering on the entity layer. Let me make sure go through and check a few things. So we want it to be on sorting layer floor, and then we want like -1, so it's underneath the actual floor tiles. Then we're gonna need to figure out some way to set its collision. So we got a material ground here. I think we have to move the box glider. That's got a grid on it. These are tile maps. I think we're gonna have to make a new grid. So this will be... This will be impasse dash grid. And then what we'll do is we'll delete this out of here, and we'll go in here and we'll delete everything but this. And I'm kind of guessing at doing this, by the way, so this is probably not a really good idea to use as a tutorial, but it gets the concept across. So we got a collider, and the collider is untagged. So we're going to want to make sure we tag this. We do want it on a map. We're going to remove this. So one big problem about doing this is that this is our obstacle layer over here. And we're going to want to... We need to have a certain obstacle layer for this to work. Which is very unfortunate that we can't actually tell it to... We could set it to collide with everything, but then it would... I mean, it might work. You know, this might be a solution to fixing why my AIs have been messing up. So let's give this a try. So we set this to hit everything. And then we create another layer in here. And no, cancel. I don't want to set that static. Add layer, and we're going to call this impasse. And we'll do like map here. So map.impasse. So the impassable areas, and that way we have something that is unique-ish. Because the reason why we want to make sure this is unique-ish, and we will update trials, is that there is actually a collision system here. This should be under preferences, I think? No, not preferences. project settings, physics 2D. Yeah, here we go. So this is what we're looking for. So we want to effectively say that any kind of weapon needs to not hit the impasse, but we still want everything else to hit it. So that should theoretically work. You know, the easy solution would be to give weapons only collide with like the map object, but that just seems dumb. So that'll do that, and then we just have to come over. Should not have more than one A-star component that's seen at one time. I'm pretty sure I deleted the other one. Although, you know what I need to do? I'm going to make another object up here. Create empty. I'm going to call this A star. And we're going to move our component here. Can we just... Is there a way I can just drag this? We'll do this. We'll just do copy component. Add component. I think it's A star is what I want. Okay, let's get the name of that component so I wasn't paying attention. A star Pathfinder. Okay. Just do Pathfinder. There's a Pathfinder right there. Oh, it's A-star path. It's not showing up on the list, which is weird. Maybe it's got some kind of system that prevents it from showing up once you've got it placed. Remove component. Worst case scenario, I just got to do some other stuff to find it. Let's try Path AI. Nope, that's not it. Remove component. Pathfinder. There. So it's not called the same as the script, and we just need to paste values, and that should actually do all the stuff. I have a feeling, like, by the way this is messed up, is that this isn't grabbing the thing. So all graph settings, and we want to save to file. Yeah, we're not gonna worry about it. So let's just make sure this is running, and we're gonna have it scan the level. Let me make sure. You know the graphs are probably not set up right. Ah, I didn't save anything. Good graph. This is a 2D grid graph. Use 2D physics, circle. We want this to collide with everything. It should theoretically work. Oh, you can select multiples. You know, if I wish that was an option. So select nothing, map, map. There we go, mixed. Sweet. And you know, this has probably spawned it. Yeah, it's over here. That's what I don't really like about the whole map system that they have here, is that if you want this to work, you have to like drag this over here. Oh, which didn't actually do anything. So I don't know what I dragged, but it got dragged. It's probably my A-star object. But even if you get like the A-star object moved, this guy is going to have its own individual like system. So like even if I set this like 0, 0, it's going to center over there, which is really, really bizarre. Now I'm going to need this to be... That's the node width. Node size. Oh well, just do this. I think the node size should be... Let me check it. Yeah, that'll be fine. We don't want this to be too big, because we want basically to make a grid per area, theoretically. You know, we're just gonna set this to like a really high value just because I'm lazy. There we go. That covers most of our area, especially if I move it like that. And then we hit scan again. The reason I'm going through all this effort, by the way, is when we make the second thing, I need to make sure that the AI Pathfinder works. Because if the AI Pathfinder breaks, then there wasn't a lot of point to going through the whole process. Oh wow, this is laggy. I don't really need to see the outline. I'll leave this area down here that just acts like it's impassable. This is really bizarre. It's basically flagging this entire area as an impassable area. Am I missing something? That's really weird. It's marking a lot of areas as impassable that actually are not impassable. It's doing that huge cube. What do we have in here that could it just be this thing? Let's turn that off. Remove component. I think it's going to probably break it. Let's have it scan again. It's a long scan time though. It worked though. So let's go ahead and save scene just so we have this saved. I may have to go through my other levels and do what I just did there, because that looks like that caused it to scan a little faster. Although, get rid of surface. The only thing I really want to see is that these little collider things. Took 400 milliseconds. So it took 4 seconds to scan the whole thing. It took longer to render it than it took to scan it. As you can see, like this is basically stalled at the moment. It's the only problem with using gizmos in Unity is Unity's render system seems to be kind of like at best of times. There's probably ways to optimize it, but I don't think they really intend for you to be doing this kind of level of stuff with it. There it goes. Because I just want to see these little red dots to show me where the colliders are. So cool. We got that going. I'm going to save the scene again. Since Gregor's going to have to work on this when I'm done with it. We want our impassable. Theoretically, I can drag this back down if I don't need that collider. I just gotta wait for this to stop lagging. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this back down into the grid. And theoretically, this should work. I'm just gonna turn this object off so I don't have to delete it. I'll save scene again. We got our layer here. If Unity wants to respond. Come on, Unity. This is kind of made worse by the fact that I've got multiple programs running in the background. It's not my greatest idea to be doing this at the same time. So now we should have a new layer. Impasse. And I'm going to use this collar. And Unity's going to snap me to that corner. I swear one day when I'm like not as ambitious about what I want to get done at certain times. Oh, that's right. We're going to have... You know what? Let me click this. I'm going to change this to have a render of 1. And the reason I'm going to do that is because theoretically you want to see your impassable tiles. You know, that's like the wrong color to use. Let's use this one. Let's actually reverse on that because I'm gonna. Let's not mess up his nice geometry he's got down here because I'm assuming there's a reason why he's got this the way it is. Or else he wouldn't have drawn it this way. Or theoretically, he might have just drawn it for the hell of it. You know, one of the things I might actually do with this, because I'm noticing each one of these tiles has an individual collision box on it. I think there is a way to give the entire grid a collider at one time. Like some kind of like edge collider. I wonder how that would behave though. I remember seeing it in a tutorial, that's all I remember. Because that's a lot of collider boxes there, which might not be a problem, but could be a problem. Anyways, save scene real quick again. Yeah, let's ping just a little bit more. I don't have a lot of time to do this, but Unity's being uncooperative. There we go. So the only thing we want to do is we really just want to get like some kind of test system. So I want to put AIs on one side. And then see if we both can shoot across. So let's get some game objects. Little test mob here. Spectre. Still need to work on these guys more. Turn that off. I don't want him to path, I just want him to sit there. And then we'll get another guy to path. So we'll have him right there. Now let's try this. I forgot to rescan. It doesn't matter, because what they'll do is they'll try to path through the wall and to get to me, and that'll test the wall. So one, we want to hit the wall and see if we can collide with it. Yep. Our bullets do not collide with it. That's cool. And will you shoot at me? Shoot at me, come on. His bullets do go through the wall. It's really hard to see though because of the collar. I'm going to have to talk to Grog about the color of this map. And he can't get through there, but I can shoot him. That works. I call that a success. And we'll see you guys later with more content updates and everything else.